Go to lacontractor.org.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Doug Brown. Novak Djokovic will play Sunday for his 7th Wimbledon title. He came from a set down in the semis today to beat Cameron Norrie in 4. Djokovic will play Nick Kyrgios, who'll be in his first Grand Slam final. As the college football conference alignments keep changing, what will become of the most important independent, Notre Dame? Here's one alum's opinion, Joe Theismann.
They played 6 games in the ACC, so they were sort of part of a conference over the last few years. So I think that Notre Dame will probably wind up joining the conference. I don't believe they can stay independent. I think that there's going to be too many opportunities for them out there. So I think eventually they're going to wind up in a conference.
Super Bowl 17 champion Joe Theismann on KJ and Max. Albert Pujols of the Cardinals and Miguel Cabrera of the Tigers will both be in the All-Star game at Dodger Stadium. Pujols, Cabrera, and Hank Aaron are the only 3 players in history with at least 3,000 hits, 500 home runs, and 600 doubles.
Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max.
What Jeannie has to come to grips with is the self-interest is only in LeBron James. Nobody else you should pay attention to.
Get more from the guys Monday morning at 6 Eastern on ESPN Radio and on ESPN2.
The Early Line with Mario and Musso. Mario and Musso have your early line on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
I mean, we're just here to have fun and win and have fun by winning.
Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studios, here's Mario Jerez and Matt Musso.
And a good Friday afternoon. Welcome in, Matt Musso alongside Mario Jerez. We have your early line, Michael Patel, Taylor Sharp on the audio and video boards, respectively. Great show here today. Big slate of Major League Baseball to get to today, Mario. I might have gone off the deep end a little bit with the no-runs first inning bets today. We're going to get to all of them. It's going to take a couple different moments throughout the show to get through all of them, but it was a nice slate. I liked a lot of them, so I indulged a little bit. How are you on this Friday?
I'm great, Musso. If you think you went off the deep end, wait until I start talking about Summer League in a couple minutes. It's going to get really passionate up in here. Hopefully we win some money along the way.
Mario just spent all of his time since we got off air yesterday to now researching Summer League bets, didn't you? Didn't you do that?
Coming for that title this year, man. Should have gave it to him last year.
Okay. Okay. I see where this is going. Okay. All right.
Yeah, you're gonna see. You're gonna see where it's going. You're gonna see where it ends.
Good value.
Great value.
Great value.
Excellent value.
Okay, now see, look, you've been wanted to be so. All right, I'll let you get into it because you've been wanting to be so bullish, and now you're just gonna go fully off the deep end. I respect it. I respect it.
That's how betting works, Musso.
Okay, all right. We're gonna get an update on a couple New Orleans Saints futures as well as we move throughout the hour here on this Friday. So glad you're along with us. Let's kick it off as always with our daily spread presented by Suspense.
Our daily spread. What are Mario and Musso watching tonight?
I'm talking about big money, real big money.
This is our daily spread.
All right, so here's our first no runs in the first inning play. Again, there will be more throughout the show. But let's start with the Tigers visiting the White Sox at 7:10 Central this evening, minus $1.30. That's what's out there now. I got it at minus 125, but it's slight movement to minus 130. Tarek Skubal for the Tigers, Lucas Giolito for the White Sox. Look, obviously two familiar faces here when it comes to this play on early line. Skubal, we know, 12-4 on the season. In RFI, that is. Giolito, 10-4 in RFI, and that normally comes with a sweat, right? It's never easy with old Lucas Giolito. Normally allows a base runner here or there, can get into some trouble, but the strikeout, very prevalent in his game and allows him to wiggle off the hook. Again, said, been a popular play with either of these two guys. Perhaps neither of them is on the same fast pace they started the season when it comes to this angle. You look at their numbers, you see that they've kind of ballooned a little bit, but they are still very much above average at 12-4 and 10-4, and the lineups they will face tonight are struggling. They combined for just 3 runs total in last night's game, and that game almost went extra innings. The Tigers have tallied a first inning run in just 1 of their last 10, the White Sox in just 2 of their last 10. I'll fade struggling lineups any day against two above-average first-inning pitchers. That's what you have tonight. Tigers at the White Sox, no runs in the first inning.
We like it. I'm staying in Major League Baseball for my first play here in the daily spread presented by Suspense Games, and I'm looking at over 0.5 home runs for Rhys Hoskins and the Philadelphia Phillies. This is at plus 330 odds, and Kyle Schwarber did not come through for us yesterday for his home run prop. It was at like plus 220, but we're going to try again with Rhys Hoskins tonight. And we're talking about the reigning National League Player of the Week, somebody who has a lot of momentum going for him right now. And also, one of the 4 home runs that he hit throughout last week came off of Adam Wainwright, who he faces again tonight. And here's another interesting stat. Hoskins has 3 home runs in just 10 career at-bats against one Adam Wainwright. And he has 8 home runs and a 1.148 OPS in his last 26. This is a really good price for a really good hitter. I love over 0.5 home runs for Rhys Hoskins tonight, plus 330 up.
Against the ageless wonder, Adam Wainwright, huh? Let's head out to the West Coast in Major League Baseball. The Giants will face the Padres, game number 2 of that series, set to get underway 8:40 Central. Pretty good one last night. Extra inning affair, 2-1. The Padres a walk-off winner. Sam Long for the Giants versus Blake Snell for San Diego. This is going to be a bullpen game for the Giants, okay? Sam Long's getting his 6th spot start of the season. His numbers on the year, very good. 1.78 ERA in 30 1/3 innings. He won't go deep. The deepest he's gone all year, whether it's been a start or a bullpen appearance, is 3 innings. So that's the cutoff. What lends me to like this play early, besides Long's strong numbers and short outings, is the struggles of Blake Snell. So what we're looking at here is the Giants' first 5 money line, plus 125. Snell, just not the pitcher he used to be, okay? Struggled when he left Tampa Bay and ended up in San Diego, got injured, has come back from injury, and it just hasn't been any better. 0-5 with an ERA of 5.13 in 8 starts. And he struggled in the first 5 innings. He has an ERA north of 4 in both the first and 4th inning. And if he makes it to the 5th inning, the ERA rises above 12. The Giants lineup might be missing some of the firepower from last year, but they should have ample opportunity against Snell. Can they come through? Long, he should be solid early. Can they piece it together after his maybe 3 innings? If they can, against the shorthanded San Diego lineup, should be in good shape here. Giants money line in the first 5 innings, plus 125.
I don't know about you, Musso, but I am ready to watch the New Orleans Pelicans play some freaking basketball
Here
this
we
weekend.
go.
For the
Here we
first
go.
time since the playoffs, they are going to try to win the Summer League title. I know that's something they want to do, Musso. And when I tell you they have 16-1 odds to win the NBA Summer League championship, at least according to the odds at the BetMGM Sportsbook, I will tell you right now that is excellent value. And before I get into telling you why, let's clear up the format a little bit for the audience. This is a little unconventional what they're doing at Summer League. It's the 2nd straight year they've done it like this. Each team in the Summer League will play a total of 5 games. The top 2 teams from their first 4 games will play in the championship game on July 17th. So the 2 teams with the best winning percentage play each other in the championship. The rest of the games, the 5th games for the rest of the teams remaining, are all consolation games. If there's a tie, the tiebreakers are head-to-head and point differential respectively. So I hope that cleared it up. Understandable. That's the format. A lot of people, including myself, think that format is kind of dumb. You should just let them play it out. And the Pelicans definitely think that too. And they're definitely mad that they didn't win the title last year. And they open the tournament tomorrow night against the Portland Trailblazers. And when I tell you about last year's Summer League Pels, this was a team that was dominating everybody they played. The Pelicans haven't lost a Summer League game since July of 2019, and they went a perfect 5-0 in the Summer League last year. Trey Murphy, Najee Marshall went ham in that Summer League or in those games, and I think this is really good value at 16-1.
You're jumping in. You're cannonballing into the deep end now, aren't you?
How can I not?
Well, because you haven't wanted to since the season ended, basically. I mean, we've had Raphael on the show tell you their win total is going to be set at 53 next year. I've been pumping them up that they're going to at least probably be the 5 or maybe even a 4 seed in the West next year. Zion just signed a contract, and you've still been trying to temper expectations. And now, even though it's just Summer League, now You're picking them to win a title.
Yep, because I know
that's cannonballing into the deep end.
A little bit. Maybe I'm just excited, like I said, that we have actual Pelicans basketball on the horizon. But I just got really excited when I saw the odds, Musa, because they should not be what they are. Again, consider what the Pelicans did last year, undefeated, really mad that they didn't win the title, and then take a look at the roster. I mean, three members of this team were literally just part of a rotation that was in the NBA playoffs.
I hear you.
And almost beat the Suns. I mean, Trey Murphy played 120 minutes in that first round against Phoenix. Jose Alvarado, who's also playing with the Puerto Rican team, played 117 minutes, and the aforementioned Najee Marshall played in 56 minutes. And that's just talking about the veterans. We're not even getting into the newest edition of the baby birds, which is what Pelicans Twitter likes to call the rookie players, the newest rookie players. And Dyson Daniels will make his NBA debut, the 8th overall pick in the draft. We get to watch E.J. Liddell play competitive basketball for the first time since he was breaking Sister Jean's heart in the NCAA tournament.
Loved that.
And Pelicans fans, LSU fans are also familiar with Jared Harper, who didn't play much for the Pelicans, Musa, but for somebody like me who watches every minute of that team, even the garbage time, Jared Harper would dominate in garbage time. And we saw him a decent amount at Auburn. This is a player that's a little undersized, but we know he can put the ball in the bucket. So when you combine all the young talent, Daniels, E.J. Liddell, Jared Harper, with all the now, I guess you can call them veterans, since they played meaningful minutes in the playoffs. When you talk about Murphy and Alvarado and Najee, this is a really talented team and one that really wants to win. So 16-1 odds for the Pelicans to win Summer League. Hell yeah, take it to the bank.
It is good value, but again, I cannot bring myself to bet NBA Summer League. But I'm with you. I think they're probably one of the more although, goodness gracious, Tari Eason last night for the Rockets. Whoo, boy.
Yeah.
That looked good. That was a nice first impression.
Now that you mention it, the Houston Rockets have a nice little squad as well.
Got a good squad.
I mean, all the SEC flavor on that team. I was shocked Jabari Smith was not the #1 overall pick.
I agree.
I know Chet Holmgren's been pretty volatile in the Summer League. If you've been keeping up, one night he was Dirk Nowitzki. The next night he was just a turnstile. Anybody who wants to score on him can. But I'm pumped up to watch the Pelicans, and even more pumped up now that I see their odds are 16-1 to win the thing. I mean, the Pistons are the betting favorite, and they're 5.5 to 1. The aforementioned Thunder at 8.5 to 1. There is no reason those teams should be in a better spot to win this tournament than the Pelicans.
Let's go all in. Mario's all in. He's cannonballed it in the deep end finally on the New Orleans Pelicans. Didn't think it'd take him, of all people, that long to do it. That's our daily spread presented by Suspense Games. Listen, upgrade your game night, upgrade your birthday party, a child's birthday party, upgrade company team building activities. You can do that with Suspense Games. You might say, Russo, what is Suspense Games? Well, it is a live actual game show that comes to you trivia style. 45 minutes is how long the game takes. You can play 1, 2, 3, 4. Great presentation. It's our guys, Spencer and Tyler Hunt. They're the founders. They're the creators. They're the operators. They make the games. They bring it to you. They set it up. They break it down. They do it all for you. Hey, you in a restaurant? Want a trivia night? They can take care of that for you as well. They already host a couple different ones. Contact them at suspenseevents.com. See what they can do for you.
That's right. They got the whole shebang, lights, podiums, confetti, just like you're on a television game show. And whether you're looking for an extra competitive game night, some kind of team building activity, or you just want to take your party to a complete new level, Suspense Games is ready to bring a live game show experience right to you. So check out their website at suspenseevents.com.
Grab our first break of the show. Come back on the other side. Update a few of the Saints' futures as we creep closer to preseason football in the NFL. That's next. Early Line, 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
Mario and Musso, the Early Line. In times of need, get a full list of phone numbers, websites, and other important emergency information on the Demco Stormwatch page at 1045ESPN.com.
At Rejuvame, we specialize in medically monitored hormone replacement therapy, giving you the energy you need for all life's challenges. We can help get your day started. 1, 2, 1, 2.
It's no secret. The best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, located in downtown Baton Rouge.
There's nothing better than tailgating, but it can be a lot of work. So why do it yourself when you don't have to? Let Revelry Sports and Entertainment set up your luxury tailgate on campus. Order what you want and just show up to party. Book your tailgate today at revelryteam.com. Revelry Sports, the official tailgate partner of LSU Athletics.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
My own people call me an Uncle Tom. I play music. Been wined and dined by royalty. Trying to bring people together. All people. But regardless of all that kind of stuff, I'm still Louis Armstrong.
Here's the man you're waiting for, the king of jazz, Louis Satchmo Armstrong.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Ochsner.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
For a Monday edition of Hunt and Hill. Hunt is back from vacation as he and Jeremy Hill recap the weekend in sports. That's Hunt and Hill, noon to 2 p.m., right here on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Early Line with Mario and Musso, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Happy Friday, people. Welcome back to the show. Early Line here with Mario and Musso, and we haven't talked too much about the Saints this week, Musso, and understandably so. Lots of action going on in the MLB, and our main focus in the NFL has really been on the Baker Mayfield trade, which sure enough does have to do with the NFC South, but it's interesting to look at the odds because right now the Buccaneers are obviously the betting favorite at minus 300. Not a good price at all if you believe in the Buccaneers, but the Saints are right there at plus 380. Like, they seem to think that they have somewhat of a chance, but those are still pretty long odds, and it speaks values that the books at least think they have a chance because the Panthers are at 10-1, the Falcons are at 25-1, but I would think plus 380 for the Saints at this time is pretty good value.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely shows the separation that Vegas still believes there is in the NFC South, regardless of Baker Mayfield's addition to the Carolina Panthers. I mean, they're still projecting it to be a very top-heavy league now. What's interesting, though, is that the Buccaneers are such an overwhelming favorite. Like, the Saints are there at plus 380, but their win total is anywhere really from 7.5 to 8, right? I mean, it's not like the Buccaneers win total there sitting at 11 like it is, or what, another 11.5, whichever it is, right on the number. And the Saints are there at like, 10 or something like that. So there even is separation there. But definitely the numbers separating the top from the bottom of this division are very interesting. especially considering the addition of Baker Mayfield into the division at Carolina. It just hasn't really changed much.
No, it hasn't. And these are two teams at the bottom there in the odds that are completely rebuilding. But the Buccaneers and the Saints, too, have kind of had to retool some things on their roster. And I wanted to discuss some important players for the Saints coming into the season because a lot of them are young. They're kind of part of this new era with Dennis Allen, with Jameis Winston at the helm at quarterback. And one player that we know will be uber important down the road, we'll see how soon, is Trevor Penning, the first-round pick for the New Orleans Saints, offensive lineman, 6'7", 325 pounds. Coming out of Northern Iowa, you would think the jumping competition is going to be pretty significant, but it's interesting, Musso, when you listen to Dennis Allen talk about how they're coaching the whole offensive line and how Trevor Penning fits in. Right now, he's pretty much Zach Strief's like pupil. He follows him around everywhere during practice, during training camp, and Zach Strief is kind of responsible for Trevor Penning at the moment. We'll see if they ramp up his workload a little bit, but Trevor Penning, somebody who they definitely have plans for and high hopes for, but we'll see if he can't get on the field immediately and beat out James Hurst, who filled in decently last year.
Yeah, I mean, James Hurst is a nice option for you there. It is interesting that Penning, I mean, he was running with the ones at points during minicamp and OTAs and things of that nature. You're going to spend a first-round pick on the guy. I mean, you're going to expect him to contribute early. I mean, that's even at a position like left tackle. Maybe he's not on there, on the field game number one, but at some point in this season, I expect him to be the starting left tackle for the New Orleans Saints.
That's how it was with Teron Armstead. He struggled early on, and he got in towards the end, and he definitely took his licks, and that was one of the 7 and 9 seasons. But I agree, eventually you do have to get on the field, but it's clear they see the potential with Trevor Penning. We'll see how quickly he actually gets on the football field for the Saints, and we know they made some big swings in free agency this year. I was honestly trying to kind of temper my expectations when it came to Tyron Matthew and Jarvis Landry, just because I have such an affinity for those guys. I broadcasted their games, and we know they're still very productive in the NFL, but they were also let go by their current team. And when you talk about Matthew specifically, at first I was a little bit hesitant because of the reason that I just said, but just on the surface, when you consider what Malcolm Jenkins was able to come in and do, and he replaced Von Bell, who was really good for the New Orleans Saints. I think Tyron Matthew, you might see something similar here. Yes, a little bit older in age, has to learn a new system, but somebody who's been in the league a really long time, and similar to Malcolm Jenkins, I think he'll fit in seamlessly.
It's somebody who I also think you can expect to be kind of rejuvenated a little bit coming back home. I mean, that does matter, and that's been such a big storyline with both those guys. I think they can absolutely both still compete. I think that's two obviously great additions for the New Orleans Saints when they had to replace what they had to replace at safety and what they had to just add at wide receiver. Not necessarily replace at wide receiver, just kind of improve the position kind of as a whole.
Yeah, that's important to do after last season.
Yep.
Some of those games, like I remember watching the live stats throughout the game, and a lot of times in the third quarter, the Saints would have more punts than they have first downs. And this is a franchise that went a lot of times not even having to punt in a single football game. So you definitely saw the regression there. And I know the quarterback competition was what it was, but Jesus, the wide receiver situation is so much better this year. Even if you consider that Alvin Kamara might miss some time, like even when the Saints offense does hit a lull, it's not going to be the lulls that you saw last year. And you pair that with this defense, that's why a lot of people are really excited and think the plus 380 to win the division is really good value.
The Saints are still very much in win now mode, right? I mean, that they showed you all that during free agency with, just elevating Dennis Allen to the head coaching position with what he did with his staff, kind of really keeping it the same. They've operated status quo, basically. I mean, they're still very much in win now mode, and I think they are being slept on a little, but also kind of for good reason, if that makes sense, because you do have to see what they look like without Sean Payton, and that is going to be huge. I mean, it's not. I don't really think anybody, odds makers included, would be surprised if the New Orleans Saints made a run at the division, were in the playoffs, even could make a potentially deep run. I don't think that would surprise anybody. But I think you're seeing, especially the books, be cautious with their odds and things of that nature because mainly Jameis Winston and no Sean Payton.
You're spitting right now. You're 100% right. This roster is what it was last year, but better when you consider the wide receiver improvement. But the two most important positions, you now have two guys with added responsibilities. Dennis Allen, like you said, yes, he called the defense last year, and he's going to continue to call plays this season, but not having Sean Payton in the building, the week-to-week the day-to-day effect that will have with Dennis Allen is something that's hard to predict. And then Jameis, too. Jameis was playing awesome through 7 games. 14 touchdowns, 3 picks, but throughout the course of a season, it makes sense for the books to hedge there because you have somebody new at head coach and to an extent, somebody new at quarterback. So that's reflecting the odds, and that does make a lot of sense.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I think. And again, look, you add in something like Alvin Kamara. I mean, that's going to impact it too. But the longer that drags out, I mean, he will be suspended at some point. It's just, I mean, that's in the personal conduct policy. I mean, it's kind of written there clear as day. Like, it will happen at some point, but the longer that draws out, does that allow, if he's not suspended week 1, that can help the Saints get off to a faster start or vice versa, finish stronger if it comes in the middle of the season or just, somewhere along those lines.
Random tangent here that has to do with numbers, Musso. There's a lot of talk about Tyron Matthews' number. It looks like, according to Nick Underhill, he's going to wear number 5 for the Saints this season to represent the 5th Ward, which is where he's from. But when Tyron Matthew first came to the Saints, a lot of people wanted him to get number 7. A lot of Saints fans that I saw on Twitter, and they were pretty much like, screw Taysom Hill. Like, he doesn't need that. Tyron Matthew looked so clean in the LSU 7. He should wear 7. And I just thought that was a little disrespectful to Taysom Hill. Taysom Hill, somebody who was not a good starting quarterback, in my opinion. He probably shouldn't have been in that position to begin with, but he put his body on the line for this football team, and he's made a lot of plays for him. So I'm glad he's getting to keep his number, and I think Tyron will still look really clean in number 5.
This is my take on numbers in the NFL.
Okay.
If I was wearing the number of somebody else who wanted to come in and wanted that number, I'd be the happiest person on earth because they're going to give me a lot for it. Like, that's just how things work. Like, Hecker, the punter in Carolina, is about to get the bag from Baker Mayfield for that number 6. He's the punter. That's going to be awesome for that guy. Like, shout out. That's if I were Taysom Hill, I'd be like, you want 7? Here, take it.
Numbers hold
for a fee.
Yeah, I mean, numbers hold special significance, man. For some people,
for some guys,
what they wore in high school, and for me, like the number 9. Like, in my lifetime, the 2 best quarterbacks that I've seen on my team, or the teams that I root for, the teams that I follow, wore number 9, whether it's Drew Brees or Joe Burrow more recently. So when I see anything that has to do with the number 9 associated with the local quarterback, I usually think that's a good thing. And when you have more and more money, obviously you're more willing to spend it. So that's just a very sentimental thing. I mean, didn't your boy Thibodeau on the Giants give up a fortune to keep his number from college as well? I mean, it just depends on
that's what they do. That's what I'm saying. Like, I would want, when a new player comes on the team, I would want to be the guy that's wearing his number. That's what I would want to do.
Mine for Rent in the Bayou Ford chat says, I would expect the Saints D to lead the NFL in scoring defense in a wasted Saints effort as an offense without Peyton or a cerebral QB. Here's the thing, mine for Rent. They kind of have won with their defense the last few years anyway, even with Drew Brees and even with Sean Payton at the helm. So it's going to be up to Jameis Winston to play very similar football as he played last year. Don't turn the ball over. Be wise on 3rd and short situations. Use your legs when you need to. But he has much better athletes to throw the ball to. I don't think there's going to be that huge of a disparity.
That's the thing. See, so I'd be a lot more worried about an offense without Sean Payton if it was literally like the same exact offense last year. Like, if okay, you get Michael Thomas back, that helps. But if you're still just kind of out there with Callaway and Deontay Hardy and Traquan Smith and Adam Troutman, I mean, like, I'd be a little bit worried because Sean Payton could mask that as a play caller. I think Pete Carmichael is going to be a great play caller. He's done well in absence of Sean Payton before. So you bolster the wide receiver room. You give Jameis more weapons. I mean, I think the offense, will it hum as well as it did under Sean Payton in the prime years of the New Orleans Saints? Maybe not, but, I mean, is it good enough to help them win and make the playoffs and potentially make a deep run with the defense they have? Absolutely.
I'm starting to get more and more bullish on Carmichael as well because he's called the plays before. He's a protege of Sean Payton. He learned from one of the best offensive minds in the history of the NFL, and I think he kind of has a precedent for what he wants to do this year, Musso, because think of the Saints towards the end of kind of Drew Brees' prime when he still had the arm strength. 2014 through 2016. They were really pass heavy. There was one year they had 3,000-yard receivers with Willie Snead, Brandon Cooks, and a young Michael Thomas, but the defense was trash. I'm expecting the Saints this year to be a little bit more high volume, some of it because they had to be, but some of it because they want to feature all the talent that they have at wide receiver. But you're just going to pair that with a better defense this year. And maybe they're not like at the top of all these categories like they've been the last few years, but they will be serviceable. And when you combine that with Jameis Winston, who, yes, he's thrown a lot of picks, but he's thrown a lot of yards as well, and was really efficient in doing so last year. So I think people sleeping on the Saints just a little bit when you consider all that.
Yeah, I mean, for sure. I mean, look, it's going to be, and the schedule, it's an interesting one for them for sure. I mean,
as is every year.
Yeah, late bye, so you play 13 games before you even get to the bye. You have some couple of tough stretches there. You get the trip to London. So it's just you got to get some guys back from injury when training camp starts. I mean, that's what I'm really going to want to see Marcus Davenport and Peyton Turner out on the field when training camp starts. You'd like to see Michael Thomas be out there on the field when training camp starts. You don't need to play him in a preseason game.
I need some slant routes in my life.
No need to play him in a preseason game or anything like that. But at least have him out there in training camp or something like this. You get those guys back. That's when everybody was talking about who was there, who wasn't there. OTAs, minicamp or not. Training camp, couple weeks, man. That's going to be the real tipping point of maybe to know how close you are to having the full team back out there week one.
I'll be out there. Can't wait for training camp. Can't wait for the season. Even more excited for preseason this year, Musso. I mean, you got new faces and you have less games, which is welcome. And football talk is always welcome here on the early line. Very excited to be closer to the season. However, we'll transition here. Looks like Musso going even deeper into the deep end. Has some more plays for you on the other side. This is the early line on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Early line with Mario and Musso. 104.5 ESPN. This week on DropBiscuit.com or wherever you listen to podcasts is our new series, Pops, the Louis Armstrong story. Pops is brought to you by New Orleans & Company. Check out NewOrleans.com and come visit New Orleans.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team. And backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
It's no secret. The best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, located in downtown Baton Rouge.
Eli's always been into grilling. It took us a while to see it, but the signs were there.
What are you doing, Eli?
I knew grilling was my thing. I have been talking about it throughout my career.
Happy with the results?
I am. Got the new grill from barbecueguys.com. It performed great.
My advice, as I always told my boys,
do more of what you were born to do.
Barbecue Guys, for those who were born to grill.
You want cheese on your burger, Pops?
I'll take a little cheese.
Crime has serious consequences, but anyone can make a mistake. If you find yourself in trouble with the law, know that you have rights, and it's okay to demand them. The law offices of O.C. Brown are here to protect you and your rights. Felony or misdemeanor, DUI or drug charge. No matter what crime you're accused of, you still have rights. Let the law offices of O.C. Brown uphold them. Call 225-343-1111. Your law firm for a lifetime.
And this year, 2022, it's time to finally treat yourself. Bring your boat to the next level with front-to-back boat service. You want the latest and greatest marine technology? You want to go to the place that has not one, but two NMEA-certified techs. Family-owned and operated by the Sherman family for 30 years, Front-to-Back is the answer in Baton Rouge for all of your custom boat needs. So head to front-to-backboatservice.com or find them on Facebook, Front-to-Back Boat Service.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her auctioneer primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an auctioneer care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioneer Baton Rouge. innovating healthcare for Kelly.
Visit Acura of Baton Rouge for attractive offers on the MDX.
Moscona inviting you to join us for Friday's AFR, presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar. The Riot Radio Hours return. Terrio's in studio. We'll talk about LSU's new recruiting coordinator. Join us 3 to 6, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
You're getting the early line with Mario and Musso on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
All right, Mario, I kind of went off the deep end again, right? I mean, look, I love the no runs in the first inning play. I think it's a lot of fun. It's just, I mean, it's a great sweat, 6 outs. You love every minute of it. You're hanging on every pitch. Love it. Great. Phenomenal. Give one out every single day. Took the plunge kind of today. It was a good slate. It helped also that I had a 4-0 day yesterday, so I'm feeling the juice a little bit. Kind of want to keep it going. Stumbled onto what appears like it could be NRFI paradise today.
Lay it on me.
Gave you one in the daily spread. We have 3 more for you here, and let's just go ahead and get started. The Rays are going to visit the Reds tonight. No runs in the first inning. This was a little pricey, minus $1.60, but a 5:40 first pitch. Shane McClanahan for the Tampa Bay Rays. Luis Castillo for the Cincinnati Reds. We've backed McClanahan plenty this season, obviously, when it comes to NRFIs. Both pitchers, 11-5 on the season, so really steady. Castillo, while the first inning numbers, they're not going to jump off the page at you, is better than average, and he's hot. He has 9 scoreless firsts out of his last 11. It will be a tough test against this Rays lineup, I will give you that, but one he should be up to task for. He's also coming off his 2 best outings of the season as a whole. In his last 2 starts, 13 innings, 1 run, 4 walks, 15 strikeouts. You look at the Reds lineup against McClanahan. While it does produce better at home, boy, have they struggled in the first inning. Just 1 first inning run since June 21st for the Reds. That's 16 straight scoreless first innings for that offense. Furthermore, the Reds pitching staff, they've been solid as a whole, firing 7 straight scoreless first innings of their own. So let's back McClanahan and Castillo in this one. Reds, Rays, no runs first inning, minus 160. 5:40 Central first pitch.
Man, you've really discovered something here with no runs in the first innings play, Moose. So this year in baseball, as you know, I'm a baseball layman, and even I know that this has been hitting a lot in Major League Baseball. I forget who it was on Jimmy's show. It might have been Wes Reynolds. It might have been Andy Isco. But they were saying that there's been so many situations in pro baseball this year where there are no runs in the first inning to where handicappers put more of a priority on bullpens this year.
Yeah, I mean, it's been in general just because starters aren't going as deep anymore in Major League Baseball either, which is stupid, by the way. Okay. Next one, prices get a little bit better here. That's the most expensive one that we have there, and 160 is still not awful. Pirates at the Brewers. This one's minus $1.35. No runs in the first inning. 7:10 Central first pitch. JT Brubaker for the Pirates. Aaron Ashby for the Brew Crew. When you look at Brubaker, the first inning record 11-5, pretty darn solid. But kind of like Castillo, who we were talking about previously, the numbers don't really jump off the page. When you look at Ashby, it's a spot starter. 9s, well, was a spot starter. Some injuries have kind of forced him out of the bullpen. Now he starts a lot. But he's only made 9 starts. 7-2, no runs first inning in those 9 starts. So maybe not the overwhelming evidence you would like, but still plenty of reasons to like this matchup and play. First is precedent. These two pitchers, Brubaker, Ashby. Brubaker has faced the Brewers twice in a start. Ashby has faced the Pirates twice in a start. Both times, shutout first innings for both pitchers. Number two, the Pirates pitching staff as of late. Much like the Reds, kind of on a heater. Pittsburgh has fired 5 straight scoreless first innings as a staff. And number 3 is your lineups. The Pirates have tallied a first inning run in just 1 of their last 10. Milwaukee, a little bit better, 3 out of their last 10. But when you look at the Brewers lineup, doesn't hit for a high average, just .235 as a club on the year. Their threat is the ability to leave the yard, and that's where Brubaker comes in. He has not allowed a first inning home run all season long. Let's roll with it. Pirates, Brewers, no runs first inning, -135.
Shout out to my boy Bo Wegman, engineer here at Guarantee. He is my favorite Pittsburgh Pirates fan in the world. And when it comes to the Pirates, Musso, every time I see a headline about them, their results, they seem to be not a very good team, but hella profitable. Like, they're really good on the run line and little prop bets like this. The Pittsburgh Pirates have apparently made a lot of people a decent amount of cheeses.
And PNC Park has the most beautiful view in the major leagues. It's fantastic. Pittsburgh skyline, river, a couple bridges, so good.
Got to visit one day.
So good. Okay, final one. Rockies at Diamondbacks, 8:40 Central Time. No runs in the first inning. This one's -$1.15. You have Chad Kuhl going for the Rockies, Zach Gallen going for the Diamondbacks. Considering that Chad Kuhl pitches his home games in Coors Field, which is just where no runs first inning plays go to die. It's basically just where, pitchers duels in general go to die. His 11-4 in a NRFI record, really solid. Also, when he's away from Coors Field, really solid as you might expect. 6-2 on the road to the no runs first inning. Just a .218 batting average against in 64 first inning batters faced. He's pretty darn good. The Diamondbacks, on the other hand, they have one of the weaker lineups in Major League Baseball at .220 this season. They've only tallied a first inning run in 3 of their last 10. They are going to their ace tonight, Zach Gallen, 13-2, no runs first inning, 56 batters faced, walked 2, held the opponent to a .173 batting average against. You look at the Rockies lineup, they've been hitting the skids as of late, just a first inning run in 2 of their last 10. Really good price here for 2 solid first inning pitchers in Chad Kuhl and Zach Gallen in a place where Chase Field, the ball doesn't really fly out in Arizona very much. So kind of like this play at a really good price. Rockies, Diamondbacks, no runs first inning, -115. So to recap all of them, including the daily spread play, Rockies, Diamondbacks, we just went over, Pirates, Brewers, Rays, Reds, and then the earlier one was Tigers, White Sox. Those are the 4 no runs first inning plays today. It could be paradise. Who knows?
Could be. If you're bold and you want to parlay that, shout out to my guy Calvin Ridley. You could have a really good weekend. But individually, including that last one there with the price, looks good, man.
It does. I'm into it. I just kind of sat down today, started looking at pitching matchups, and I was like, this day's got a lot of potential. Like, this has a lot of potential for the no runs plays, and we love the no runs. So here we go. Look, hopefully we all go into the weekend feeling great.
Yeah, could be a great weekend, man. The weather's pretty good from what I can see. Hopefully we're profitable here with the no runs in the first inning and with the Pelicans winning their inevitable Summer League title.
All right, hey, I love it. Here we go. Inevitable Summer League title for the Pels.
16-1.
16-1. That's interesting. Good to see the Bayou Ford chat while we have a little bit of time left. Coupe de Ville sent in Sports Illustrated's SEC West projections. They have LSU at 6-6. Yeah, over. I mean, over. Yeah. I don't think this is a 500 team for LSU again this year.
I understand maybe the logic behind somebody saying that the team the last 2 years was under 500. Now it's a first-year head coach inheriting a new team and some holes that they had to patch, but I don't think they go 6-6. Brian Kelly did a really good job in the transfer portal. They seem to have a healthy QB room just in terms of being in the sport of college football. LSU will win at least 7 games. 7-5, maybe I'll entertain you a little bit more. But what I do think is interesting is Arkansas being second in the Sports Illustrated projections there in the SEC West, ahead of some schools like Ole Miss and Texas A&M that most people would probably have ahead of Arkansas. But I'll tell you what, I like that because similar to how we were just talking about the Saints, at the most important positions, Arkansas set up pretty well. I mean, Pittman's done an awesome job since he got there. They kept both their coordinators. KJ Jefferson has been around a really long time, as has Bumper Poole, Musso. Can you believe he's still playing at Arkansas?
He's no.
The linebacker, exactly. So that is a team that has a quality coaching staff, has a lot of experience. Arkansas coming in second in the SEC West, even now after a decent season, sounds like a crazy thought, but I don't think it's that crazy. And honestly, I want to find out if there's odds on that. Arkansas coming in second in the West.
But I mean, look, yeah, I mean, we'll get into SEC West win totals a little bit more, most likely around SEC football media days here in a couple weeks. But I mean, LSU, 7.5 is pretty much where you see LSU in most places. You do see a 6, 6.5, and 8 out there. They're kind of all over the board, but there's just a lot of uncertainty there, I guess, with LSU. But when I look at the schedule, I mean, I think they're going to beat Florida State week 1. They're going to win the rest of their non-conference games. That's 4 games right there. You're going to tell me LSU's going 2-6 in the SEC this year? Like that's just no. That's not going to happen. They should beat Mississippi State. They should beat Auburn. That's 6 wins right there. Can they get one more? Absolutely. Can they beat Tennessee? Yep, sure can. Can they steal one from Florida? Yeah, sure can. LSU had no business beating Florida last year, and they ran them out the stadium. So literally, Ty Davis Price ran over them all day long. It's a weird game. LSU shouldn't have went to the swamp in 2020 and won that game, and they did. So, can they do? Sure. It's just, I think they're winning all 4 of their non-conference games, and I'm not going to sit here and tell you they're going 2-6 in the league to only finish 6-6. That seems. That could they go 7-5? Sure, that wouldn't necessarily surprise me. Could they go 3-5 in SEC? Yeah. But 2-6 just seems like I will be very staunch against that. I think that's ridiculous.
I'm intrigued to see all the individual lines for the games when they come out because that Auburn game is going to be interesting. We were talking about it with Hilly in the last show. Like after the offseason, after the first season that Brian Harsin had, like all kinds of pressure on him. But Auburn does have some good things about their football team, man. I mean, they bring back Tank Bigsby. They bring back the second running back who spells him and had a lot of success against LSU last year. And that game is at home. So I don't know if LSU and Auburn are that far away in terms of perception. And I'm interested to see what that line's going to be. But at the end of the day, I'm with you. LSU is not going 2-6 in the SEC. And I'm positive there will be some games against some opponents that they lose to that the fans are upset about. And there will be some games, like the game against Florida that you referenced, that LSU is not supposed to win, but they pull it out. But there's no way in hell they go 6-6.
No, I don't see that. I think you'd have some pretty upset people if you have a third straight 500 season. And I'm not saying the expectations are going to be overboard for Brian Kelly in his first year, but I think everybody is expecting LSU to finish above 500 here.
And
like here, everyone's expecting that.
And seasons like that are very rare. Like in the second season, the expectation is going to be win some games, maybe not championship, but New Year's 6. And even for Coach O, when he was taking over, he didn't really have kind of this first year to kind of temper expectations. I think Brian Kelly kind of has that. He could take advantage of it. But in the second year, those expectations will rise, and people will be expecting close to 9 to 10 wins.
Yeah. I mean, in year 2, most likely, especially you get this recruiting class in, man. Look, they could land a pretty big fish here coming up shortly this afternoon at 5 o'clock, I believe, Central Time. Jaylen Brown will announce his commitment, and LSU's figuring very heavy into that right now.
I'll be mad if he goes to Miami or A&M straight up. LSU needs to get the win over those 2 schools. I think they're getting a lot of hype right now that they do not deserve, if we're keeping it real.
Who? Miami and
Texas A&M.
Oh, okay.
2 of the schools that are also in contention.
Yeah. I didn't know. Well, yeah. No, I got you. Hey, look, A&M. They signed. They have a lot of good players. They have they signed a great class. So,
if I was Jimbo Fisher, I would just be like oil money and flip everybody off and walk off the podium instead of doing whatever the hell he's been doing.
Of course, but it's not what he did. Sorry, I got distracted by Twitter. Let's take our final break. Come back and close out Early Line on the other side. Close out the week here on Early Line on the other side. 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
The Early Line. 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. Our listeners fire off their opinions on the jimsfirearms.net hotline at 499-1045. Keep listening for your next chance to shoot us your thoughts with the jimsfirearms.net hotline on 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge.
My own people call me an Uncle Tom. I play music. Been wined and dined by royalty. Trying to bring people together. All people. But regardless of all that kind of stuff, I'm still Louis Armstrong.
Here's the man you're waiting for, the king of jazz, Louis Armstrong.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Ochsner.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
Me, Jimmy Ott and Charles Haniger for the Monday evening edition of Game Time, presented by Bet Rivers. We're at Spoken Hub on Government Street in Mid-City. That's Game Time, presented by Bet Rivers, 6 to 8 p.m. Monday on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Early Line with Mario and Musso, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Wrapping up the week here on the Early Line. Short week, but a fun week nonetheless. And it was a good week for LSU football and recruiting so far. We'll see if they can finish that off with a really strong weekend here. And how about Jay Johnson and the LSU baseball team? continuing to do some good things. And the coaching staff now pretty much rounded out for Jay Johnson coming into next year, because we already know that they hired Wes Johnson, Jay Johnson's fellow Johnson, to be his new pitching coach. And now they have hired Josh Jordan to be the new recruiting coordinator, replacing Dan Fitzgerald. And Musso, this is somebody who's been at Duke, who was not a very good program before he got there. But since he got there, they have been really good. And this seems like a quality hire for Jay Johnson and LSU.
Yeah, man, slam dunk, home run, A+. Love it. I mean, and you can say, oh, you're going to love every hire, right? Everyone loves every hire before you see what happens, and there's truth to that. Don't have a lot of time to break it down totally. Did a podcast today, Musso at the Box. Go subscribe, Apple, Spotify, Google, wherever you find podcasts. Go subscribe there, and you can hear the full breakdown. But I'll say this. This is why I say solid. App State, Duke. 2 places he was at since 2007 to now. Those are the 2 stops, both with Coach Pollard as the assistant from there. And each time, under his tutelage, recruiting players there, developing the players, both those programs reached highest success in program history, where it's Duke even having their first preseason ranking and their first super regional and 33 players drafted, or things of that, their longest streak ever ranked in the top 25, things of that nature. Obviously, look, there's not a lot of firsts left to achieve at LSU. I understand that. But when you can bring somebody in with that cachet, with that pedigree, to just continue to make this place better, you're going to like that every time, and that's a fantastic hire.
Well said. I like it, too. I think given the context of what Duke was before he got there and how much he helped them, I think that's a great hire for LSU. And Duke and Appalachian State, the way things are going right now, that might be the ACC championship game in a couple of years.
Go read his bio, and you'll see the phrase first or best in program history a lot.
This is not a one-night stand for Jay Johnson. This is the real thing, as is the LSU baseball program. That'll do it for Early Line this week. We'll be back on Monday from 2 to 3. Stay tuned for my dude Matt Moscona and AFR coming up from 3 to 6, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.